Each successful person has a great story, and I am lucky enough to share it when their name is mentioned. I take pride in being a small part of each of their remarkable journeys. That's the teacher's purpose, to do whatever we can do to contribute to each of you on your journey. And like I said, I think for me, it's to stay here 30 years and share the stories. Success can be all over the world, or it can be right in your own backyard. Plenty of former students are making a difference right in this fine community as well. The bottom line to each of you is, dream it, then take the steps necessary to do it. 2005 JE graduate, Main Street in Jordan, Dr. Allison Bush, MD, had advice like this: when you find someone who has the career that you want, ask them the steps that they took to get there. Sounds pretty simple, and yet it's very profound. But don't forget, you need to work hard to keep getting better each day at whatever it is you're chasing. Figure out what makes you happy and makes your dreams come true. Like the old Apple commercial, the people that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are often the ones that do. I'm going to leave you with some little bits of advice. Hopefully you don't get your phones out or tune me out, like Kaylee mentioned. Things that these guys, some of them have heard in our many sessions together, and others haven't heard at all, as they patiently listen to me on my soapbox. You're going to have ruts. Terrible things are going to happen to you on random, idle Wednesday mornings or Tuesday afternoons. Don't let them beat you. Pick yourself up and persevere through it. It too shall pass. Worry about what people that care about you think about decisions you're making. Their opinions, some of them are, I'm sure, in the audience, matter, and their advice should be taken. To the people that don't really know you, however, worry not 1 second about what they have to say. Their opinions, perhaps even shared on Facebook or Twitter about you, mean absolutely nothing. Country music legend Tim McGraw, again, it's not Ben Franklin, but said, "Who you been ain't who you gotta be." Love that quote. Translated, whatever the environment that you grew up in has no bearing on what your future holds. In fact, if you grew up with adversity, broken, impoverished, or in filth, even more of a reason to get a proverbial chip on your shoulder and make the life that you dreamed of become a reality. Few things taste better than redemption. Get a job now and save your money. In fact, get a second job and maybe even a third job. Mow lawns this summer. Then in the fall, rake leaves, and in the winter, shovel for people. Be ambitious and seek out work. When you're working, you're happier because you're not sitting around and thinking. Plus, when you're working, you're not spending money. I wish that this was stressed better upon me when I was your age. Whatever you are doing, you might as well try to be the best at it, even if you know you won't be the best. That doesn't matter. If you're doing it, you might as well do it the best you can, or why are you even bothering? Wake up each day with an attitude that on that day, you might really impact someone's life in a positive way, and you'll surely be happier than spending each day moping and miserable. Be the squeaky wheel, meaning if you don't like the way something is, it's up to you to change it. Another Whopper quote coming. Like actress Lily Tomlin said, "I always wondered why somebody doesn't do something about that. Then I realized I was somebody." Avoid the pitfalls of alcohol and drug abuse. They only get in the way at your one shot at your dreams. Those of you off to college had better not think in the next few years that you have all the answers. The older that I get, the more I learn. I have so much more left to learn. If you think you have all of life's riddles and questions figured out at 20, let me preemptively tell you, you're wrong. I saved your parents an hassle. And as for college, remember what you're there for. You're paying an enormous amount of money, or borrowing in my case, Go to class. Do the work. Get to know the professors like you got to know the teachers here. Invest the time and you'll be rewarded with your next ticket to your next milestone. The extracurricular stuff is just a small bonus for what really matters in college. Don't lose sight of it. Most of all, be loving, considerate, empathetic, compassionate, and kind to everyone that you encounter. This is such an important day for your loved ones. For your parents, it's a day that they feel like they did their jobs. When my mom was dying of cancer, I overheard her tell the doctor while I sat in the other room that she wasn't afraid to die. She just wanted to live long enough to see me graduate from high school, which sadly she didn't. Only now, as a parent, do I fully understand why that mattered so much to her. High school graduation is a day that will not be forgotten for any of you. Like Doc Graham said in my favorite movie, Field of Dreams, we fail to recognize the most significant moments in our lives while they're happening. Back then, I thought there'd be other days and other gatherings. Had I known that within 2 years of my graduation, I would lose both my grandma and my grandpa, who were such a special part of that day for me, I would have surely hugged them harder and hugged them longer. Please, hug longer and harder from now on. Enjoy this day, and enjoy the rest of your lives, class of 2014. You're a special class with so much promise. I'm honored to know you and be a small part of your amazing journey. My APUSH kids know that when I teach the 20th century, I always say that every decade has a word attached to it. So the 20s are roaring, the 30s depressed, the 40s were war, the 50s were happy, the 60s turmoil, and so on. Each graduating class also has a word with me. So if you ask me in class, I give you a word. Only in hindsight does the one-word description come to me, but if you force me to choose a word today, you're sweet. The class of 2014 is, as a whole, really sweet. They even had a little snuggle. In closing, to each of you, it's your life. Make every single bit of it count. Don't get caught living someone else's dreams. Don't wish days away. And come back and visit and let me share your remarkable story.